I just wanted to do a quick video, well, hopefully quick, about the Orlando Studios, the Wizarding World part of the park. I went with a group of my college friends, and I got a few things, and I want to show you guys and tell you a few things that I think that kind of missed when people go. So I guess tips and tricks to going. So I'll start off with the stuff that I got. Right down here. Well, for starters, you can't go to the Wizarding World without getting a few like treats and stuff. So I brought back a few things for my boyfriend and some friends and stuff, and things that I kept. I might do a video on it eventually. Birdie bought every flavor jelly bean. This is what it looks like. And this was $10.95, which is really expensive for jelly beans. But it's kind of like a novelty thing. Like I might crack these open. Well, I did say I wouldn't for a video, so I will. But I want to keep the box and like put it up on my bookshelf and stuff. So I think that'll be cool with like the books and stuff. Because I grew up with Harry Potter and I love it. I remember it was one of the first books that like I read that I was like really into, and everyone was excited because I wasn't like a big reader. So when I started reading it, I was like, oh my god, just give me a book, just do it. Next I got a chocolate frog, and the frog that comes in here, I ate it obviously, but it's huge. It's solid too, like you think it might be hollow, but it's a big, like as big as my face, of solid milk chocolate, and it's really good. Of course, you don't get it for the chocolate because it's another $10.95 deal. You know, you get it for the novelty of it, and the box is really gorgeous. And it has the nutritional facts on the back and stuff. But this is really cool. Like I said, it's for a decorative item. If the box wasn't pretty, I wouldn't have gotten it at all because, you know, $10 for chocolate is ridiculous if it's like not like decadent chocolate or something. So you open it up, and it does come with a collector's card, and I got Albus Dumbledore, which I was pretty excited about it. I don't know if you can see he's in there. I was excited because everybody wants their house cards and stuff, but I wanted Albus Dumbledore because that's the one that Harry Potter got in the books and the stories, in the movies and stuff, and so I wanted that one, and I actually got it, which was cool because everyone else that I was with, none of them got Dumbledore, and so, and it says stuff about Albus Dumbledore on it, and yeah, I was really happy with this, and this is like I said, pretty big, and it's not cardboard, it's you know, like that kind of material, so it's like not gonna rip or anything, which is nice. But I got that, and that was like, you know, a novelty thing, but I was pretty happy with it. This is actually my second trip going. The first time that I went, I actually didn't get any souvenirs or anything because everything was pretty expensive. So I was just like, no, I don't get anything. And then when I came back, everybody was like, well, you should have gotten yourself something. So this time when I went, I was like, okay, I'm going to get a few things. I'm going to get souvenirs for other people. The second time I went, I had a little bit more warning. So I was able to plan it a little bit more. One thing that I will say is that, like I said, the first time that I went, I was looking at the stuff and I liked it all, but I was like, you know what, I could probably find it online a lot cheaper. And that's not really the case. Like some things you can find cheaper, but like there was one thing that I didn't get that I had buyer's remorse about because it was a chocolate frog, but a stuffed one, and it was pretty big and it smelled like chocolate, and I was like, oh, that's great, but it's like $30. I could probably find it online somewhere for cheaper, and no. The colors that I could find were like on eBay, and they were selling them for like $10, $15 more because they had gotten it from the park. Now you can go on the Wizarding World website and find some stuff, but it's kind of like I wanted to get it there because that's like the cool thing of getting it. So definitely like unless you're talking about like robes and shirts and stuff like that you can definitely find online cheaper unless there's a specific design you want. And I would just say try to plan it, try to save money, and just get some of the stuff there. Unless you're talking like little keychains or something. The last thing that I got is definitely the biggest and most expensive thing. I got to go to Ollivanders. When you go to the park, there's like two different sides to the park, and usually most people who get the package get the deal to where you get to visit both because one has Hogsmeade in it, and the other one has Nocturne Alley, and stuff like that, which Nocturne Alley is without a doubt my favorite place ever. I'm a Slytherin, which I was shocked about when I did the Pottermore test, but, I've come to terms with it. I actually did my eyeshadow green for my house, but you can't really see it on this thing. Anyways, I went to Ollivanders, because they have Ollivanders on both sides, so if you only get tickets for one side, it's no big deal. But I went to both sides. I eventually went to the one on the side that has Gringotts on it, and Nocturne Alley and stuff. And I kind of strayed off from the group, and I went with one of my friends, and we actually got in line like really quickly. Like it had been like filling up because they do the whole like Ollivanders like whole thing, to where the wand picks the wizard and stuff, but they only do one person, and they usually pick children, and they only pick one person like every so many hours they only do the show. So you have to get in line, and it is kind of first come first serve a little bit. Usually they pick, like I said, children, and if you're in costume and all decked out and you don't have a wand, they'll usually pick you as well. But we got first in line, and I didn't even think that I was going to get picked because I just wanted to see the show. And I ended up getting picked because it wasn't, there weren't any kids in our group this time, and most of everyone, like, already had their wands and stuff. So they picked me, and I got to do, they take you, and there's, like, a guy behind the counter, and it's, like, all decked out in Ollivanders, and it's amazing. Like, I'm still smiling, and I'm, like, in my late 20s. Like, it was the best ever, and, like, you get to do the whole, you get to do spells, and, like, shells get knocked over and stuff, and you're like, no, that's not the one for you, and, stuff. And finally, I had a wand that chose me, and, of course, I got it. It's an interactive wand, and I didn't really want an interactive wand because I was with a group of other people, and I didn't want anyone having to wait for me while I did, like, the spells everywhere, because they have, like, little sensors to where you can do the spells with your wand, and it'll make, like, fountains, like, squirt water on people, and do different fun things, and it's really awesome, and I recommend it for everybody, especially children and people that are just really into it. It's just, I didn't really, like, feel like spending the extra $5 to $10 more because I knew that I wouldn't have time to do it. But, they didn't have the same wand, and the one that wasn't an interactive one. So I was like, well, I have to get this one because you don't go to Ollivanders, get chosen, get a wand that chooses you, and then I'll buy it. So, it came in this bag that's completely beat up. That's what it looks like. And it's pretty big. And I will say that if you're planning on going to Ollivanders, go ahead, get your wand and take it back to your hotel room or wherever, because they do have lockers there that you can rent when you want to ride rides and stuff, but it was kind of a hassle because it was like you have to wedge it in there to see the bag. Like, you gotta wedge it in there, and I'm kind of like, just get it and take it back to your hotel room. Or, like, maybe get it on the last day or something. It comes in this, like, olive green box. And, does it have, well, it has that on it. I was trying to look if it still has a price on it, and it doesn't. I don't know where the price is. But this is the ones that chose me. Like this, it has some gold right there, which gold isn't like my favorite of things. Like I'm more of like a silver kind of person, but I still like it, you know. And then it has the little stamp that says like, you know, the trademark stamp on it, which, you know, it's whatever. But this is what it looks like, and I really like it. It has a nice weight to it, and I love how the little ball like sits in the palm of my hand like this, and I think it's really cool. They have the little bulb there. There it is. It sticks out to do the interactive thing. This one is the guy wouldn't do the thing. He goes in depth with it, and it's willow wood, which I love willow wood, so that's like really awesome. And it's a unicorn heartstring in there, and I thought it's really cool. Pretty much, even if you don't do the Elevators tour, if you go up to any of the attendants that are there and ask them about the wand, they'll have an in-depth thing for you about the wand, which is totally cool because they're definitely in character. They don't break character for nothing. And I just love it. It's an experience even if you don't get chosen. I will say that they have ones that are for wands strictly for birthdays. Like you look up your birthday and they'll tell you which wand is for you and different things like that. They have like an assortment of wands that are not just character wands, which I thought was cool because this obviously is not a character wand. It's a leaf. But yeah, I love it. I want to. They have like cases and just everything. You know, it's all Ollivander's. They have like everything you need for your wand. But like I said, a lot of the things there were expensive, so I'm planning on making a wand stand to put it up because right now it's just been in my box and I want to display it and everything. Wow, this video is getting very long, so I will try to cut to the chase. The last thing is that when you get an interactive wand, it comes with a map that tells you all the places on both parts that have the little sensors on it. And this has Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade on the back. And it's just, I actually want to put this in a frame because I think that the artwork on here is just absolutely beautiful. But it has the places on there and the little spells that you can do and how you do them and everything, and it tells you how to cast a spell. And here's the back. Here's the other one. But yeah, I love this. I still got to do a few spells, and it is like harder than you think to do the spells, which is cool because it's not just like, oh, just anybody can do it. You know, it's like you actually have to practice doing the spells, which I think is totally cool because it like gives it more authenticity, you know. I will say that a trick, kind of a trick, when you go to Diagon Alley, it has everything there is like in black lights and it's very dark, and it's like when you go there, especially like if you go into these parks for the Harry Potter thing, you need to like experience it. Like the rides are really cool, but you should go and just look at everything, take pictures, because there's a lot of like little things that you don't notice, and you might watch videos later and be like, oh my god, I was there, I didn't get to do it, whatever. So if you go on the Diagon Alley side, and when you go to Nocturne Alley, there's a lot of like black lights and different things like that, and if you take this map and you put it under the black light, you'll get to see little places in Diagon Alley to where you can do the spell. But it doesn't show up on here. Like you have to be under the black light, any black light technically, but you have to be under the black light in order to see it. And you can make like some shrunken heads talk and different things like that. Like I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but it's really cool, and definitely go to Nocturne Alley if you go on that side of the park because it's just with the skulls, with the creepiness, with the Death Eaters and the Dementors and all like that, it is definitely something to do. It's like I said, it's an experience. I will say that everything there, it was like I had butterbeer. Like there are things that you know, the people who aren't into Harry Potter probably aren't going to do, but definitely have the butterbeer. I recommend the frozen one. I wasn't a fan of like the normal one because they have the normal one that's just like chilled. They have the frozen one and then they have the hot one. And the hot one and the frozen one were the best in my opinion. Try all of them. Make like a week of it if you could. We did it in 2 days. I think it was like 2 days, and I still could have stayed there forever. So that was it. That was my tiny haul and my large explanation of everything. And if you have any questions or anything, definitely leave me some messages down below. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye.